Guys, no action shots tonight, but a couple updates. As you can see, this thing looks a little different than it used to. I didn't take any videos yesterday. I was just on a mission to try to make something happen, and I think I might have made a little too much happen. So you saw my debacle trying to chuck this thing up in the lathe with a bolt. That went terrible. So I got some pipe fittings, put them in the lathe, and I turned them down to fit this thing nicely. And believe it or not, you can get pretty stinking accurate with a little shitty Chinese lathe. So I started shaving this thing down, and I was kind of worried about this happening, but I wasn't that worried about it happening until it happened. I kept cutting it, checking it, cutting it, checking it. And I think that's how much I pulled off of there. Let me grab a set of calipers and see. Got some dirt in them. I'd say we pulled a good 150 thou, give or take. This I don't really give a fuck about that, but it kind of sucks for trying to line it up. I was going to take this guy next and turn him down and slip him over top of this thing so that it would sit inside of that and then, inside of that, so that I had a nice true alignment, and then I just bolt it on. That's not happening now. I think I'm just going to deal with it and I'll eyeball it I'll use the seal as my guide. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll put a score in this thing. No, ain't gonna happen. I can't chuck this anymore because my tool broke. I pulled all the threads out of it because my pipe stub was too long, and so I had to crank the shit out of it to get it to actually pull tight on this thing. Anyhow, this shooting match now clears, but we got a new problem. I kept turning this thing down because my adapter plate's holding us out now. And you put this thing on, and you put this thing on. Now we're back to sitting on the plate and bearing on the outside of this thing. So, I can grind this off, or I think plan B is to do what I should have done out of the gate. And now that I got this adapter plate here, I'll just bolt it onto there. Well, I can't bolt it on that way, but I'll figure out how to re-drill these holes to match these holes, and then just bolt that fucking thing right to there like they do on that style and be done with it. And if it's straight enough, it's good enough, because I just can't, I don't know, I can't make this work without having clearance problems. So I'm kind of torn. So this, you can see the seal face right inside of here, and there's a little bit of material left. This plate's still the thickness of that seal. Not a big deal, but this oiler here, it dips in pretty far. So I think I'm pretty close to, having an issue there. But, there's not a hole there yet, so I'm not going to worry about it until there is a hole there. So, a lot of stuff happened. Nothing good happened. I don't have a clear path forward, but I think I'm just going to re-drill that thing and call it a day. So I'll probably end up, if I take this plate, put them on here, bolt them on nice and true, and then, I don't know, then I can drill these out somehow. And then I'll take it and try to line it up and drill it, and probably do it pretty poorly and fuck that thing up and make it all wallowed out and not work right, and then have to buy both of these brand new and be another $300 in the hole. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, we're gonna pretend this thing's gonna work, and just keep moving forward until I can't. I don't want to buy a new one yet. If I can try to salvage this thing, I'm gonna. So, that's where we stand. Nothing great happened. And, I don't know. The old lathe chews pretty nicely on cast stuff. That was kind of cool, but I don't know. I guess it's a bad idea to learn on the part that you need. Who would have thought? So, I don't know the next time I'll post anything. I got a little bit of while on figuring. I doubt I'll take a video of doing all this happy crap. I'll probably just do it and let you know what works, because I'm tired of taking a video of what doesn't work. So, more to come. So, a lot's happened since our last video. I quit taking videos because, well, I kept messing things up, and I got kind of tired of taking a video of something that wasn't right. So I figured I'd just go ahead and do it, and then report back my findings when I find something that works. So here's what we got going on here. Let me see if I can do this one-handedly. Uh-oh, it just fell a little. That's okay. So that side's looking like 175 thousandths. This side over here, I was reporting back 140 thou. And top 175. And bottom 160, 155, 157. Let's get accurate. Anyhow, what I gathered, I kind of did the feeler gauge method too. It's looking like 150-ish. If you average it, or maybe a little heavier, 160. It's on the tight side, but it works. It's gonna work. You know, it'll be fine. If it's not fine, you'll be the second ones to know. So, let me pull this off. I'll show you what I did. So, here's what we got going on inside the bell housing. This is my adapter, input bearing retainer that I accidentally turned down too far. This thickness here is, I think, plenty. There's still some meat on the top side of the seal, and if you look, this thing's the thickness of that seal, so just shy of a 1/4 inch thick there. The only thin spot I'm a little worried about is inside this oiler port, but it doesn't go the whole way through. So, and by that I mean there's not a hole here, so it should be fine. I don't think I did any serious damage. Then I took my fancy pants adapter ring and I laid it on here, bolted it here, and then drilled it where these two holes were. I drilled the other 2 holes out, and then went ahead and laid it on here, and half-assedly added 2 more holes to my slave cylinder. I'm not sure. I don't know how well this is going to work, but when you lay it on here, it centers pretty decently. So I know I can get it centered. I'm worried about this hole because it's on the taper. Let's see that. Yeah. I might try to take a grinder in here and level that off. I'm not sure yet. Or if I can get just a washer, or not worry about it, because this side's flat, and if I tighten this side down and that one just does its thing. Like I said, all we need to do is have this thing not rotate. The issue I had is with this thing sitting on the retainer, I was back to the point of the slave cylinder was hitting the plate. So I had the plate down as low as it could go and was going to try to figure out how to make that work. And when you set this thing down, it hits the plate. So I had to get rid of the plate. And the only way to do that is to drill this out. So I guess I could have saved about a month's worth of work and a lot of thought to just drill my slave cylinder out immediately. I don't know if that's the most kosher way to do it, but you know, is what it is. We're back to using studs, so the studs will come up through these two, and then I can use regular bolts now because I have enough clearance with just this guy on here. There's more than enough headroom there for a regular bolt. So I'm going to put 2 factory bolts in, 2 studs, and yeah, see if we can't get this thing centered up on the tranny, and then do one more test fit. I'll put my spring back in it. I blasted everything down with brake cleaner, so it should be alright to not have metal everywhere. One more wipe down, one more oil, and then we'll put it all back together and see if we can't get the tranny on. That ain't gonna happen tonight, but at least I got some footage of my next attempt. Hopefully final attempt, because I'm about over trying to do all this. I did put it's kind of rubbed off. I put a timing mark on this thing now because I don't have my alignment tool anymore. But I also lost my timing mark. I think it sits like that. I don't know. Let me put this thing back on here. Alright, get this back where you can see it. And those guys go there. So yeah, this is the top. Boom. So, if I drop the studs down in, there and there. Well, I did that backwards. So, looking down in the hole, hard to see, but there's enough wiggle room on these that I think I can. I'm either gonna eyeball it or I'll figure out how to align off of this guy now, because we don't have our we ain't got our snout no more to work with. So, you know, that sucks a little bit, but such is life. More to come. Now, folks, this seemed like a good time to start recording again. We are closing in on the skunk. And also, final assembly of the tranny. I figured I'd save you all the pain of watching me put it together, but here's the final attempt where I just drilled it and bolted it straight to. It's a little wobbly in there, but I got it lined up with this guy here. I just stuck the part that I broke off inside of here, and then you can eyeball this. Jeez, I just stuck the broke off piece inside of here, and then you can eyeball around here, and it pilots that pretty nicely. So that worked out okay-ish. I'll do better when it's final assembly time. But, you know, I figured I'd let you ride along for another attempt at bolting this thing in. I'm hoping once it goes in, yeah, you're in the toolbox. You're still playing. Alright. How's that? That'll work. Well, when it goes in, I can look through the inspection window and see if we got 2,000ths or 150 thousandths of slack in there. So here goes. Look out! I'll go that way now. You get run over. Look at that. So, I don't know if I can take you guys inside with me or not, but we're going in through here and we're gonna poke at that, see what we got for clearance, and then just pray. If not, the first time I slip a clutch, I'll get the flywheel machine, and then it won't be a problem anymore. I'll take an extra 100 off of the. I think they can take 100 off and be fine. I'm not sure. Well, I can't tell with certainty whether or not that thing is sprung or not, like fully compressed. I should have did this without the return spring in it. So, to save you from having to look at more of me putting this thing on and taking it back off, I'll just go ahead and well, I'll pull the tranny back out, pull that retaining ring off, pull the spring out, put it back together, and see if I can move it then, because I can't move it with the little bit of leverage I got here. So, yeah, next time you hear from me, I'll just let you know that it worked, or you'll see me doing it again. But, yeah, so, headway. Guys, this is it. Look inside of here with me. Look what we got. We got a flashlight. We got a little tubulator. And we've got well, shit. I can't even tell. There it is. We got a gap. This, you see the face of the bearing. And then you can see the light mark is the shank with the, like the sleeve that the bearing rides on, and then you can just kind of make out the fingers. Let's see, there's a finger. Uh-oh, we lost it. Anyhow, we got a gap. It looks like 200 thousandths from here, so we're gonna call it 200 thousandths. And yeah, all that. So, this is a big success for this guy, but it's also not a big success for this guy, because I had to use the old Harbor Freight Chinesium lathe. Big bummer. I was hoping not to have to do that. But, I mean, if you're in this spot, it's probably cost just as much to take your input bearing retainer, take it to the machine shop and tell them to break it, and you'd be in the same boat as me. So, also, I'm not super worried about how that seal's sitting, because this one here is facing out just like it, with, what do you call it? Oh, not having this thing on it to protect it. So, I'm not super worried about that seal being exposed. And it's got the shank of the internal slave to protect it some too. So, yeah. She fits. The next thing I gotta do is pull it all back apart and put my hydraulic line on, which is chilling. Well, that's not the right hydraulic line there. I don't know where it's chilling. It's probably back here. What's in here? Garbage. Well, I'll have to find it, but, you know, the next thing I gotta do, piece together my hydraulic line, and then bring my master from the truck in here, and disengage this thing. And then Then once we get that thing disengaged, this will be ready to go in the truck. I know, we got a skunk down here again. She's just being a nutcase. Yeah, we'll get that thing engaged. Hey, stay down. Stay down. And then, alright, my EFI Live showed... Oh, yeah, I'm losing my track of thought. EFI Live showed up, so I'm working on that. And, that'll be the next thing, is try to start this thing in the shed. Or at least crank it over, I don't know. I gotta get it some fuel and get the system primed and bled and everything else. So, yeah. That's cool. Next thing you'll see is probably me pushing on a clutch line that's clamped in the vise and then spinning the transmission. So that'll be neat. Oh, and I got to tear this all down and put new flywheel bolts in because there's only 2 bolts holding the flywheel on, and that would be a bad day. So we're gonna do that too at some point. Okay, stay tuned.